I know you spent over a decade in Hollywood, engaging in numerous roles from acting to producing. Who inspired you to want to become an actress?
Myself. I just think that I've always had an affinity for performance and for self-expression. And so for me, it was very natural.
Shawn, you've been with Riff for several years. Can you explain some of your journey from when you started?
There's always people that say, oh, that's not my job, that's not my job, that's not my job. And I just kept saying, I'll do that.
What strategies are you implementing to elevate the festival's global presence?
Hollywood is something that I'm very well versed in, like a Swiss Army knife. So I can kind of assess, okay, what do we need? What should we be doing?
93 nominations. All right, we're back, and we got two very special guests on the show today. It's an honor to be in your presence. Thank you so much for showing up. I want to give you a round of applause. How are we feeling today?
Amazing. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing up. How about you, Ericka?
I'm feeling terrific. So happy to be here in great company with great styled people.
Absolutely. This is the first time that we do this, by the way, everybody that's watching. You guys look amazing. So we got a very big event coming up that we're going to speak on. We're going to go into the intro real quick, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Jmack Experience Podcast. This show is for motivational purposes only. However, we will not be politically correct, but our goal is to inspire those who listen and watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us at the Jmack Experience Podcast and email us if you would like to be a guest on our platform at the Jmack Experience Podcast at gmail.com. Peace.
I want to give you another round of applause. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm super excited. So I like to start from the very beginning. For those who are not familiar, and either one can go first. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Shawn Quirk, and I'm from Westerly.
Nice. Born and raised your whole life?
Born and raised. Went to Boston University for film school.
Wonderful.
Lived in France for about 3 years.
Oh, we can't skip over that. So we'll definitely go back to that. How was living in France, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah.
I'm fluent now in French.
Oh, that's awesome. So you picked it up while you were there, pretty much. That's awesome. And how about yourself?
I'm from West Warwick, Rhode Island, and I own a production company, but I also work with the film festival.
Nice.
The Rhode Island International Film Festival, and I serve as the Director of Community Engagement and Development. And
so your whole life, West Warwick?
Well, no. So I just returned to West Warwick. It's funny how life works out.
Yeah.
But I was out there for over a decade and returned last December. So I've been home for just over a year.
So just a year. How does it feel to be back?
Feels so nice to be back. There's something really special about a small state. Everyone knows everyone in the best way.
Absolutely.
Right? And I really do think that we kind of live by that motto of, like be good to thy neighbor, right? Like everyone here, there's a really great sense of community in Rhode Island that I love so much.
Yeah.
And it's, everyone knows everyone. It's kind of like Hollywood.
You know what's funny though? I was speaking about this the other day to somebody. Being that we're the smallest state, isn't it amazing how we never have like any natural disasters and stuff like that?
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, not yet.
Knock on wood. Don't even say this. Oh
they
my
have
God.
happened.
Didn't we just have an earthquake, guys?
Yeah, but that wasn't an earthquake.
But it was 3 point something. In LA, they're like 4 or 5.
And we did have a flood. I mean, not too long ago.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like, how
like a big
New
one.
Orleans went underwater.
We don't.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by water. So
38 is the last big one, but we count our blessings.
Yeah. So, that's a great thing. Now, I just want to know more or less, like, what was it like growing up in Rhode Island? Like, did you face any trials and tribulations? How was your childhood like?
I mean, growing up in Westerly was just kind of like growing up in Pleasantville. I mean, it was
hi, neighbor.
The town itself is its own little state. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, trials and tribulations, I don't know. I mean, other than just the thought of what we're going to do with our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, the classic teenage angst.
Yeah.
Things of that nature, and figuring out what we want to do and how we're gonna do it and how we're gonna get out of this town.
Yeah.
Because like as a kid, all you want to do is get out of this town.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where it is. And just trying to figure out who you're gonna be.
Absolutely. Finding yourself, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a big one.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. How about yourself, Ericka? What was it like growing up in West Warwick?
I would say, West Warwick, but when I was in grade school, I went to the public school and then I went to CJCR, which was Cranston Johnston Catholic Regional. So I had friends that were all throughout the state. I had a great childhood. Feel very fortunate. My family is, I have some family members that have never left Rhode Island, right?
Yeah.
Very close-knit family. I can remember Sundays being, all together at my Nana's, holidays and stuff. But something that is a challenge that I've faced is the loss of my brother in 2018, Bo.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you, who's my angel. And I think that, again, going back to the small state vibe, what was so nice about that is the real sense of community that my parents and I were afforded during that time and love.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing like home.
There's nothing like home. No matter where you go, right? You could go all around the world.
Yeah.
But never. That's how I feel like, because I'm originally from, Queens, New York.
Yeah.
And like, no matter where I go, it just doesn't feel the same. Like, I love it out here, but like I always say, the day I like make it like huge or successfully, I think I'll be going back. Yeah. It's where I'm at.
Yeah. There's nothing compares to where you grew
Yeah.
up and just that feeling of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Going back for Wesley, for me, is the beach.
Yeah.
We live for that. Just the smell of the salt in the air.
Yeah. And the food. They got
Yeah.
good food over there. So now I want to just, backtrack a little bit. Now, Ericka, I know you spent over a decade in Hollywood, engaging in numerous roles from acting to producing. Who inspired you to want to become an actress?
Myself.
Just yourself? Nobody in particular?
Myself. I just think that I've always had an affinity for performance and for self-expression. And so for me, it was very natural. You'd probably get like a list of people that would be like, oh yeah, this checks out.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't something that I was comfortable saying right away, because I thought I was crazy when I moved out there. I was actually originally moving out there to pursue being a TV host. That was the dream.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was the dream. And people would be like, are you an actress? And I'd be like, no, do I look crazy? Because I just couldn't really wrap my mind around it because it wasn't ever presented to me as a possibility of a career, right? Like I'm from a family, like you roll up your sleeves, you go to work and, you're with your family and sure, great, right?
Yeah.
But, my parents actually... They wanted me to be, the first thing that they had pitched to me when I was young was to be a stenographer.
Oh,
they were
my
like,
God.
it would be a great job. You got holidays off. It's da-da-da-da-da, And then that didn't check out. And then they were like, hey, at the age of 15, they were like, you should go volunteer at the hospitals. You're a very compassionate, loving person.
Right.
And so I started as a candy striper. Not stripper, striper. So, I volunteered and it really kind of tapped into this thing that I hold for people, which is like empathy and compassion.
Right.
And so I worked there as a volunteer. And then when I was 16, I was a dietary aide. And then when I went to college at 17, I went to the pilot program at CCRI.
Right.
Listen, there's a whole plan my parents had in place for me, right?
Right.
Go to the pilot program. Then in 2 years, it's an incentive. You've been a Kent County employee forever.
Yeah.
You go to Rhode Island College, you get your nursing, you come, you
get a career,
on, you
right?
get the bonus, blah, blah, And it was at this one moment where I saw, the director of news and public relations doing an interview. And I saw them being interviewed by a journalist, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, how does a person get that job, right? And then I literally, because I was the hospital operator and doctor's answering service, I called over to the public relations department and I asked Brian Wallen.
Shout
That's
out to
his
him.
name. Yeah, shout out Brian. And I asked him to lunch in the cafeteria and I said I would pay. For the record, he paid. And I sat him down. I said, Mr. Wallen, what do you do and how do you do it? And he said, well, I went to school for communications, told me his whole story. And I was very inspired by that. And then within 2 weeks, with only 17 credits to transfer,
Yeah.
I was accepted into two of my schools that I was interested in going, and I picked Rhode Island College because my parents bribed me with an apartment
So
in Providence.
you stood in Rhode Island, even though you wanted to change paths in life.
Yeah, but I changed majors, right? And that's where I really learned that my life was on my terms, and I was responsible for my own happiness. And then my parents were really stoked for me. They were like, "Listen, like you can do whatever you put your mind to."
Oh, that's amazing. At least they encourage you, because not for nothing, like, there's parents, they're like, "Oh, that's never gonna happen. You need to stick to what we had planned."
They've never, ever, ever, ever done that to me. And,
That's awesome.
And neither did my brother either. He was my number one cheerleader.
Oh, that's awesome. See, take notes, everybody watching. Always be supportive of your kids' dreams, no? I'll start with that.
Of
100%.
course, yeah. And you guys are both dads, so you know.
Absolutely.
You know the importance of it. And I teach, right? So I'm not a mom, but I teach. I teach kids. I teach adults with disabilities. And there's something really wonderful about being able to pour into someone.
Absolutely. And help them out, figure out what they want to do in life too, right? You're a
100%.
mentor at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, Shawn, you've been with RIF for several years, serving as executive director. Can you explain to those watching some of your journey from when you started and how long it took to get to where you are now?
Well, I started in the fall of 2011.
Yep.
And, starting off really as a screener
Oh,
for the
wow.
festival, going through films.
So like behind the scenes type of thing?
Watching films on a weekly basis. I was also, when I first started, I was a substitute teacher.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
See, that's why we got to get the whole story.
I was teaching French
That's awesome.
and at the Wesley High School, and I was also a photographer for the Wesley Sun.
Okay.
A little bit.
Ooh.
So being that you was in Paris, that kind of helped out like another career path, no?
Oh yeah, I could have easily become a teacher.
All right.
That was always Plan B,
Yeah.
and I love teaching.
Yeah.
So I lived in France for a while, and I was an English teacher there,
Oh, that's awesome.
teaching French kids English in high school and middle school.
Yeah.
And I bought a Volkswagen Golf for 400 euros.
Yeah.
And I would go to Brussels on the weekends and work on film sets.
Oh, that's all. Brussels is really nice.
Brussels is great.
I just came back from there.
Really? I want to go. Like, so I was like looking into it, and they're like, because it's one of those places where they don't really speak about, but they say you have to go there if you're passing through. Because I wanted to go like from London all the way down to Paris, and they're like, you got to stop in Brussels.
Brussels is the place to go if you want to like achieve something new.
Right.
Because there's a lot of room for growth there.
Okay.
Whereas, a lot of the bigger cities they're very well developed, but they're stagnant. And
Right.
It's hard to just become like a self-made person.
So you'll stand out more is what you're saying.
Oh
in Brussels.
yeah, Brussels is like it's like Rhode Island.
Yeah,
Belgium.
exactly, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the film community's like family there, and everyone helps each other out. Whereas the bigger countries they're a little more exclusive.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, you said that you came back, you started teaching French, you were a screener, and then from there, where did you go from there?
Well, over time, I just became, there's always people that say, "Oh, that's not my job. That's not my job. That's not my job." And I just kept saying, "I'll do that."
I want to learn.
Let's do it. So I just, I ended up taking on more and more responsibility over time.
And that helps too.
It helps a lot. That's what they taught us in film school. Just make yourself so indispensable that they can't let you go.
Right.
Yeah, and available too.
Exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of people's mindset, I don't know if you agree, but nowadays, especially nowadays, like you said, it's not my job. It's like that type of thing. Like, I'm going to come here and do what I had to do, and I need to go. If I'm not getting paid for it, I don't want to do nothing extra.
The work ethic nowadays is laughable, in my opinion, to some degree. I wasn't born with a silver spoon, right? Like, sure, I was afforded certain luxuries,
Right.
But I certainly earned every stripe that I have.
Yeah.
And I wasn't afraid to collaborate, to work for free, to donate my time. Even now, like in my profession, I still take the time to be very cognizant of building others and providing opportunities. And I'm shocked sometimes when people are like, "Well, what does it pay?" And I'm like, "But it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's about the
Experience.
creation, the experience, the stuff to put on your resume."
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that could always lead to another door opening too. I'm big on that.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Right? When you show up, you just don't know where it's going to
and who you're going to meet. For instance, I don't want to go off track too much, but meeting Ericka, they told me, oh, just come to this little meet and greet that we're doing, and boom, ended up meeting Ericka. And so it's just like that. If I would say, oh, you're going to pay me to be there, I would have never went. We would have never met. So
that's the way to look at it. I mean, with any industry, I feel like it's the same. You have to make yourself available and to learn, to be part of the community. And I feel like we forget that. We always want to, start getting paid a salary on day one.
Be a millionaire overnight.
And it's just
doesn't happen.
It doesn't really work like that. You gotta. I mean, you just it's about investing your time and energy and learning new skills. Absolutely. And then over time, you become valuable.
Exactly. Now, Ericka, as the director of community engagement and development at RIF, what strategies are you implementing to elevate the festival's global presence?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my colleague here who gave me the opportunity, right? Because Hollywood is something that I'm very well versed in, like a Swiss Army knife. So I can kind of assess, okay, what do we need? What should we be doing? Like for instance, we did the promo yesterday for ABC6.
Nice.
And I had a vision of like a Rolls Royce, being a part of it, a red carpet moment. These are things that I brought to the table. And then we all collectively together with the film commissioner and with ABC6, we had a meeting and we were like, okay, like here it is. Like, and yesterday was a prime example of like kind of manifesting, right? Like these great things. But to your question as well, for me, what do I like, right? I like celebrating people. I like a red carpet moment. I love media stuff,
right.
like the public relations aspect of stuff.
That's more of your lane.
Yeah, it's like multiple things, kind of a melting pot, right? Like all these things coming together. And I just think that Rift, with having such a rich history, right? How many nominees, Shawn? 93.
93 nominations.
93
Oscar
nominations.
Oscar nominations.
That's amazing.
It's kind of like the perfect storm for me, right? It's like I got very lucky coming home and then, learning about this history for the festival and then, all of our colleagues that we get to work with. And it's really fun.
The festival is a very rich organization culturally, given its legacy with founder and creator George T. Marshall.
Wow, nice.
Who was my mentor.
Okay. So he pretty much showed you the ropes and took you under the wing?
And he created the festival in 1997.
I was going to ask, how long has this festival been in place? You got right to it. So 1990, so that's over 25, almost 30 years, no?
Yes. Yeah. And we had the premiere of Something About Mary.
Oh,
in 1998.
Awesome. That's one of my favorite
I actually didn't know that fact, and that's awesome.
Oh, that's
because people say I look like Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, every time I zipper my pants, I always think of that movie. You know when he got stuck in
Yeah.
That's a classic.
That's amazing. Now, so, all right, 93 nominations.
93 nominations.
I have a few questions about that. Now, Shawn, can you actually walk us through the creation process for RIF?
Well, they've been growing over time. And when I started, we had about 1,800 submissions.
Okay.
And then we had additional on top of that that were solicited. But 1,800 starting. Now we have over 7,000 paid submissions.
Oh my.
So people submitting from all over the world, from over 100 countries.
How do you look like for the qualities, like the films? Which ones, like, how do you ensure like diverse selection and which ones that are going to get selected is more or less that's a lot of selection. 7,000?
For me, a diverse selection is the most important because it's the most dynamic.
Right.
So just it's a different perspective. Yeah. So it's a different story. It's a different outlook. Yeah. And it just makes the whole program dynamic and flow really well. And on top of that, what I look for is really just the right rhythm.
Right.
Now, the right rhythm can be any rhythm.
Exactly.
But it's got to be the right rhythm. It's like a good song.
Yeah.
A good song just flows and you're in it from the beginning.
All the way to the end.
All the way to the end. And it's really because of that rhythm is on point.
Exactly.
And I feel people sometimes forget that film is in a lot of ways just like music. It's temporal.
Yeah.
Like it has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Absolutely.
And the way it flows and engages the audience is the most important thing. So it's a combination of everything.
Yeah.
It's the sound, editing,
Well, music plays a big
Cinematography.
part.
Of course.
and the
film.
music in film, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a melting pot of all the arts in a sense.
Right.
But with that said, it's the vision of the filmmaker and that goal that they know what they're doing, and you can tell that just by how the film plays out. You know,
Exactly.
everything has a purpose and a reason to be there. Every shot
Yeah.
works really well, cuts together with the next shot. What's it juxtaposed next to? Is it a vase juxtaposed with a dog?
Exactly.
Maybe. Does that work? It could work if it's edited correctly and the film is somehow, is that vase gonna fall over? You betcha it
Yeah.
is.
Well,
But
sometimes it can be predictable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it works. Just editing is an art in and of itself.
Yes,
too.
Absolutely.
it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like for instance, like Quentin Tarantino, like most of his films, like they go from one place to another, but then in the end, it all comes together. Like that's like a prime example.
Oh
of that.
yeah. I mean, Kill Bill
Yeah.
is the reason why I'm in this room right now.
Wow. He's one of my favorite film directors.
Yeah,
Quentin
Tarantino's a
Tarantino.
master.
He's
I
amazing.
saw him at Sundance
Yep.
in 2016. And I also saw him at the Final Draft Awards. I want to say in like 2018, actually. And he is a quirky guy.
Yeah.
His story to success was not overnight, like you just said.
Exactly.
His script, Reservoir Dogs, he wrote that script by hand
Wow.
a number of times.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just such an interesting character. You know, I can't imagine the world without having his zany
In film, right?
storytelling. Yeah, and he's also legendary for being very, very, very particular about details on set, straight down to like the lint in a pocket with change, right? Like that's like Shawn said, that's a vision that someone has that, you know, and they know what they want, right? And he also said that it's very important with who you surround yourself with in order to make that vision come true.
Yeah. And that's with anything in life. Like if you're around like-minded individuals, you're gonna go far. If you're not, it's not gonna work.
Well, you gotta be selective about, you know, the people you have around you
Right.
and the energy that you invest. And me personally, I don't deal with energy vampires. I don't have the bandwidth, you know.
No bloodsuckers in your camp.
No, you know. And I used to say that I had like a community friend where I feel like I'm doing community service, and I'm like, you know what, I can't just, you know, you gotta
Get it together.
get it together lovingly, you know.
Now, the film festival coming up, we got to shed a lot of highlight on this. When is the exact date? Where will it be? And what makes this film festival unique compared to the others?
The dates are August 5th to the 10th.
Okay.
Opening night will be at PPAC,
Nice.
and it's going to be at the Vets,
The Vets.
the Avon Cinema,
Nice.
the Odeum. We'll have some screenings at the Odeum in East Greenwich.
Also, several locations.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's good to know.
We'll be at the
Showcase.
United Theater in Westerly.
Okay.
We'll be at the Showcase,
Showcase,
in Providence.
Providence.
That's one of our main venues. Throughout the week, there'll be films throughout the weekend at the Showcase.
Oh, that's
so it's
awesome.
really the whole state comes to life for this
Yeah.
festival. And we'll have over 250 films represented.
Wow.
A lot of filmmakers will be attending internationally
From everywhere.
from all over.
Oh,
and what
that's
makes the film festival unique? I would say it's a global festival with a small town feel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a good thing for Rhode Island in general.
Exactly. It's, you know, everyone playing at Riff, I have to say, are on the same par or better than the films you'll see at Tribeca, at Sundance, you know, Berlin, Cannes. They're all the same.
Nice.
So it's really just a matter of ambience. And people love coming to Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah.
They love it. It's the vibe of the city,
Can't forget the food.
the parties that we host,
Yeah.
the restaurants we have events at. Everyone has a great time with Riff. And they also love the audience.
Yeah.
Rhode Island has a great audience because Rhode Islanders don't hesitate to ask a good question.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you go to New York screening sometimes, and sometimes a little silent. People are they're almost afraid to talk.
Exactly. Or intimidated.
They're intimidated. Yeah. We're Rhode Island. People,
We're outspoken.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Hey, how'd you make that? You know that thing that you did? How'd you do that?
Can you tell me the ingredients?
So the filmmakers love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm big on that. I love to ask questions.
Yeah.
You know, no matter who I'm in the room with.
Well,
People be like, why are you
We
doing
gotta
that?
have you, and it's Estefania.
Estefani. Shout out to my lovely daughter, Estefani.
her daughter. I said maybe they could do like a opening night red carpet thing, the two of them.
oh, perfect. Yeah,
So we just
definitely.
got
You
an
just got
exclusive.
an offer.
I
Yeah.
like it. I accept. This is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
And we have a kids camp that we're doing this summer at Rhode Island College.
Okay.
The week of July 7th, which will be very exciting. Shawn, you want to speak to that camp?
Oh, we've been doing that for a number of years.
Okay. Give us the information. How can they apply? How can they be a part of it?
The site will be live shortly. And
Okay.
we actually have the site live now. It's at rifilmfest.org.
Nice.
And you can apply there. And the camp's going to run for 5 days. And during those 5 days, they get to make 3 films.
Call my daughter in. We'll be there.
So, and then the final film that they make towards the end of the week gets to play at the festival.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they have- and
So they have
they're-
their own premiere.
Right. And my dream is for them to have their own little red carpet moment and just
That's
be inspired.
awesome.
So these are the future filmmakers that we're nurturing.
And it's going to encourage them to go on in their life and do big things, you know?
Oh, we've
And you're a
had
part of
kids'
that.
eye filmmakers work for us.
Yeah.
Or present films at the festival.
That's awesome.
I mean, it really it's the best way for us to, plant the seeds for the next generation.
And create opportunities, no?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Now, the tickets again, where can they purchase the tickets for people that want to attend?
rifilmfest.org.
rfilmfest.org. I'll put the website on the screen when
That'd
I
be
do
great.
the edit. And then what challenges, because I know it's not all peachy doing these things, right? What challenges have you encountered in organizing the festival and how have you overcome them?
I mean, there's a lot. The biggest challenge is the films.
Okay, what you select, right?
Yeah,
More or less?
we have over 7,000 entries.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Just making sure the program vibes, it has the right, we're hitting all the marks with
Right.
what we select and making sure that we're, engaging with as many different filmmakers as possible from as many different places, but at the same time creating an event that everyone wants to come to.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different things that we have, but that we balance.
And clearly, with 93 nominations, he and the team in the past have been doing something correct. We actually
Right.
have 6 nominees this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can we get an exclusive on who's being nominated? Oh, we can't speak on that.
Oh, we
Well,
can.
they're nominated already. So
They're already nominated.
Yeah.
Porcelain
Nice.
War is a
Porcelain
nominee.
Wars, okay.
That's the best feature documentary.
Awesome.
Alien is a
Alien?
Tell
Alien. It's a double entendre. 'Cause
Okay,
if you look
okay.
at it written, you'll know.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
But it's a film about the border crisis.
Right.
Excellent.
What we're
short
going
film.
through now?
Yes.
More or less? Okay. Nice. That's going to be a lot of people going to be able to relate to that.
That it very well might win.
Yeah.
So timely, and it's a great indie film. It's shot handheld. It's got a lot of
The way
energy
it's shot
to it.
is very, you can
Yeah.
feel, it's very palpable what's
Yeah.
going on. Like the lead actress trying to figure out what's happening to her husband and her daughter, and you can feel it. It's definitely well done.
That's all. Like I remember back in the day, the Blair Witch Project. That was like one of my favorite movies.
Did they shoot
It was
that in
so
Rhode
low
Island?
budget, but it was an awesome movie.
Right.
Well, because it's low budget, it feels more real.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It
It's
does.
got that veracity to it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's
it's just that
suspense.
handheld camera.
Yeah.
That's why it was
adds,
so scary.
It adds to the level of freebiness. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't even think I've seen the whole thing. I was freaked out. I think it came out and I was like, what, in 8th grade?
They actually have a part 2.
Do they? Yeah. Why do they have to always do that?
I know.
Why?
Ruined the first one.
The day someone remakes Dirty Dancing, I'm going to be very sad.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a good film. There's certain movies you should just leave where they're at.
Just leave.
Yeah. Like imagine them remaking a Scarface or something like that. It just wouldn't go well.
Don't
like,
even say it out loud. Don't give anyone the idea.
Now, how do your individual roles complement each other at Riff, and what collaborative efforts have you found most impactful?
Great question. Well,
I'll let you take that.
I mean, it's a great balance Ericka and I have, because Ericka's doing a lot of work to engage the community, engage the press. And on my end, I'm dealing with a lot of the film selection and the curation.
Absolutely.
So the two work hand in hand. You need both
Yeah.
to run a festival. And then, of course, there's the greater team that we have, which we're really happy to be working with. We have a lot of very talented people working with Riff.
Well, shout outs to everybody working
yeah.
in general, because it takes a village, more or less, right?
It
to
really
do these
does.
things,
I mean,
yeah.
a festival, on top of the staff, we also have the volunteers.
Right.
So it's a really great community that we built over the years.
Yeah.
But between Ericka and I, it's that dynamic, that balance of the community engagement,
Of
Yeah.
power. No,
Dynamic duo.
sponsorship development,
yeah.
combined with a great curated program and a group of filmmakers that are really happy to be there. It's kind of like organizing a wedding.
Right.
Who you get to invite, right?
Exactly.
And it's about like having the right dynamic, like how they complement one another.
Who's going to plan it is the big one, right?
Well, that's the festival. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, who's going to plan? If you don't have the wedding planner, right?
Yeah.
The wedding's not going to go anywhere.
Exactly.
Most times. That's awesome. I like that. Now, are there...
Wait, do I get to answer?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Ericka,
I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Duh.
Sorry, we forgot about Ericka.
How dare you?
My apologies.
How dare you? No, I'm kidding. I would say that, to add to what he said, listen, I am very passionate about what I do, right? And I'm not afraid to speak my mind and to give my 2 cents. And every single time I feel like I'm heard. And that takes a great leader to be able to not be threatened by ideas, but to embrace them and to want to implement them. And our red carpet last year was so much fun. All of our filmmakers had such a great time because we have that in common. We want to afford them that opportunity, right? Like, we both are passionate filmmakers, like, at the core.
Exactly.
So we know what it takes, what goes into that.
Exactly.
And, we applaud that, and we want these people to feel so great, and we want to make a mark on them, right?
Yeah.
With this opportunity. So it's a lot of like common interest and like that passion that we want to see others do well, and also like he gives me the room to do what I need to do.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I was gonna say, like, being that you said, like, sometimes someone with experience makes the event more better, because imagine it's just like working for a boss, right, that never gets his hand dirty.
Right.
Pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like you speak from experience.
Yeah,
so
we've both, in our own way, we've both like climbed the ladder, and
Right.
it's interesting. Like, I think timing is everything, right? So
Timing of the essence, as they say, right? This is awesome. Now, so I just wanted to know more or less, are there any upcoming events or films in this year's festival that you're really excited about that you selected?
Well, we're still early in the process.
Okay.
Because we have about half of the submissions have yet to come in.
Okay.
But I mean, there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't speak specifics on titles.
See, I'm trying to be
Yeah.
nosy here. I'm trying to pull something exclusive, from my platform.
But with that said, I mean, some of the best animations in the world
Yeah.
are coming to Rhode Island.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, we're really becoming known as a mecca for animation,
Yeah.
and as well as short films in general.
Yeah.
That's really our calling card, is the shorts.
Short films. Okay.
There's not many festivals in the States that really capitalize on the shorts like Riff does, because we'll play a lot of them. We'll play over 100, 200, 150, 200 short films.
Wow. For those out there who are not familiar, sorry to cut you off, a short film, it could go anywhere from, if I'm not mistaken, 15 minutes to about 30 to 40 minutes. Am I
You can
right?
go anywhere up to 40 minutes.
40 minutes to cut off.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, just wanted to make sure I was correct.
The ideal length is about, I would say, 15.
Okay.
But they also have the short, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, great. Sometimes the best shorts are 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They could just be very impactful and quick. And then you have the longer shorts, about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that almost serve as mini features.
Yeah.
Because they've got a 3-act structure, just as a feature would, just more compact.
You know what's so ironic? I look at where we're at now with content in general, right? So, what's funny? I was talking about this maybe a few months ago, where like we went from people watching long form videos, even on the internet, right? Now everyone's like attention span is like snap of a
So
finger,
true.
right? A minute or less, right? And do you think that one day it would just be short films? Like no one's gonna sit and watch a 3-hour film anymore?
Well, to that point, it was, oh my gosh, it was Jeffrey Katzenberg and I think Meg Whitman was her name. I don't know why I'm blanking on what the platform was. Shawn, maybe you remember. It wasn't Tubi. It was, I can't think. But they had that thought exactly. They wanted to offer only short content, you know, and for some reason it kind of dissolved. But the idea has already been started, you know. And to that point, I did do a red carpet once for my friend Vince Turner, and he used to run, I don't know if this is a thing anymore, but it was the 5-second film festival.
5 seconds?
Not 5 minutes. 5
How does that even
seconds.
work?
Literally, it's like a blip goes by, but it was like so much stuff packed in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it 5 seconds or 5 minutes? Sorry, Vince.
5 seconds?
5 something.
5 seconds is pretty short.
Yeah.
I think it was 5 minutes.
Had to be 5 minutes.
might
Now I have to Google this.
That's right.
but it was super short. It had to be 5. It had to be 5 minutes. Then.
Yeah,
That's what it was. It had
Well,
to be 5 minutes.
5 seconds would be, remember back in the day, the little thing that you
like,
put in, you like you click in, it rolls the whole film over.
All right,
don't know if
it
you
was
remember
5
that.
minutes. All right.
Yeah, 5
But yeah, 5
seconds.
minutes is perfect.
Yeah, I think
That's
it
a
was 5
lot
minutes.
to take in.
Yeah, but I was shocked by that too, because you think it's 5 minutes, but you know that it wasn't 5 minutes to shoot it.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
and
it
you have
takes
to be
hours.
even
Oh,
more.
yeah.
You have to be even more selective with how you're telling your story that way too,
Right.
because you only have 5 minutes.
Yeah. Now, how
But
do
with
you...
that, even though shorts will become more popular,
Right.
I think they're going to become more popular. They're still going to, hopefully and ideally, shorts are meant to be watched together.
Right.
The ideal situation is when you watch 5 to 6 shorts as part of a shorts package,
Right.
Okay.
like what you would do at a festival, because then it's like getting a playlist, a really good
Yeah.
playlist
Yeah.
in music. So then you're seeing different types of films from different schools of cinema. You got that indie drama, that fun comedy, that tragic film, and then you got an animation after it, and then maybe
Nice
a
horror.
short doc,
Documentary
or
horror.
you can have a horror in the middle. But that way you're keeping people on their toes. They don't know what's going to come next.
It keeps you engaged, too.
Yeah, and by the end of it, you it's only 90 minutes, but you feel like you watched 5
For 10
feature
minutes.
films.
Yeah.
You feel like
Yeah.
you watched a lot more cinema than you have. So, to just go off of what you said, even if we do go down that route, it may lead to a much more dynamic
Right.
viewing experience for audience members, and hopefully it'll even enrich them to the point where they'll enjoy the features even more.
Absolutely. Remember where you heard this first. For those out there watching, if this happens, we were the first ones
If
to speak
someone
about
launches
it.
a 5-second
Yeah.
film festival,
You
it
heard
came
it
from
here.
me.
Don't forget. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, we always can do that one. We can try.
yeah.
We could try.
You just got an idea.
We got a new,
On the
a new
Jmack Experience
category.
podcast.
5 seconds.
Now, how do you engage with the local community in Providence and Rhode Island in general to foster a vibrant film culture, more or less?
Well, we have our double feature TV show,
Nice.
so that's every Thursday night at 8
Okay.
on Rhode Island PBS,
Nice.
and it's going to be in its 9th season coming up.
Oh, wow. 9 seasons.
We've been doing it for 8 years.
Wow.
It's a great show.
So you guys having a good run.
Yeah, we
mean-
love it. I mean, we play short films from the festival. We recurate them, reprogram them for a TV audience because it's got to fit within a 50-minute block.
Absolutely.
So, and we do a little intro every episode with some, and sometimes we'll have, many times we'll have our film commissioner Steven Feinberg
Yep.
on to interview various celebrities from all walks of life.
Oh, I got to meet him.
So we've had a
He's
lot of
great.
a lot of great people on the show. We had Douglas Trumbull,
Wow.
who was the production designer for Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah, I watched
So
that.
and we had so many great actors and filmmakers as part of the show. So it's been a great. One of the producers it's not the Godfather.
Is this The Sopranos?
Sopranos.
I've seen a lot. I was
Yes.
going to say, I've seen a lot of people from The Sopranos
Yeah.
step foot in Rhode Island. I'm like,
I
this
mean,
is cool.
he produced a number of episodes, and he ended up moving to Rhode Island because he loved Rhode Island so much.
Oh, he just did a drop for a restaurant. I think I seen that.
Yeah.
In Westerly, actually. Yeah. That's awesome. I forgot his name, but I'll definitely post him.
But there's a number of great people we've had on the show. It runs every Thursday night at 8.
At what channel again?
Rhode Island PBS.
Rhode Island PBS, because we're all about promotion here. You know,
Yes.
we want to highlight all the things you got going. Now, Ericka, before I forget, can you share the vision behind founding eJoya Productions and the services it offers to aspiring creatives?
Okay. Well, switching gears, I'll put that hat on. But sure. So I created eJoya Productions because I was applying to thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs, and just nothing was happening in this job market. And I knew I had a lot to offer, so I had to just get very clear about that. Started with the website, stared at a blank cursor,
Trying to figure it out.
saying, what's my mission? What do I have to offer? And then I just kind of took it from there, right? So I've been teaching classes and, you know, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I earned my first credit this past summer for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Yeah, it was an interview that I had with Andre 3000, who just so happened to be here for the Jazz Festival.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many
That's
things,
huge.
but I don't
We
want
can't just speak about that like it's just
Yeah.
a regular thing. Like
I know
That's awesome.
it's like desensitized to these things because
Yeah.
it's just kind of, you know,
It happens
my
so
world.
fast sometimes.
Yeah, and he was wonderful. It was great. I wish he didn't play his flute so much during the festival. I wish he actually sang because he's so talented.
Yeah.
But you know, I could talk to you forever about that. But
Yeah.
I think, you know, I'm here to talk about how amazing the Oscars party is gonna
Absolutely.
be,
That's what we're here for.
and encourage people to grab their tickets and come out and be a part of it.
I like it. I like it. And then congratulations. I seen you were on several magazines. You've been on Hey Roadie.
Yes.
And then also, I believe you were in Rhode Island College. You just
Yeah.
made a spread there. That's awesome.
I did. Yeah, the Rhode Island College thing happened, I want to say right around the time, right after the festival. And that was nice, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, when I went to Rhode Island College, I really kind of got to the bottom of like, I'm responsible for my life.
Yeah.
I'm in charge. I'm the captain of this ship.
Yeah.
And I, you know, was able to spread my wings and fly there. And so I was very grateful that they took the time to acknowledge that. And they really focused on the early part of the journey, right?
Wow, awesome.
I was like robbing Peter to pay Paul, figuring stuff out there. And yeah, it wasn't always pretty, but it was fulfilling.
I just want to say, you know, I'm extremely proud. I know that I only met you a short period of time, but when I see things like that, it definitely inspires me and it keeps me going. So that's why I don't want to like overlook these things. You know, I know we're here for the festival, but I do want to shed light on the things that, you know, you guys got going on individually.
That's so nice. Thank
So just, you know, just putting that out there. Now, in the evolving landscape of film distribution and consumption, what do you envision for the future role of film festivals?
Is this a chat GTP question? Because
You
it
heard it
sounds
here
so
first
good.
on the
I'm
JMAC
like,
Experience
what?
Great
Podcast.
question, actually.
It's
Yeah.
a great question.
Well, I think the festivals are going to become more and more important and valuable over time because media is becoming exponentially larger.
Okay.
So right now we have more films than we can watch
Right.
in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So festivals are becoming more and more important to really serve as that curation, that filter, that way to just better understand what we have, what as a nation, as a culture, as a zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you think about it, the 20th century has a much more of a narrative for people,
Right.
and it's a large part because it was curated,
Absolutely.
for better or worse.
Yeah.
I mean, that people were reading well-written articles in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
They were watching great television series or a broadcast that was curated from commercial to the show itself, to what comes after the show, or how the show is, what show comes before the other show. It's all curation.
Like it's like perfect sometimes, right? Like
Yeah. But nowadays, I mean, for better or worse, we don't have curation in our lives. We are the curator.
Right.
Yeah.
So we stream, we read online, which is great. It's all great. But with that said, we no longer have those curators making sense of everything in the background. So it's up to us to curate our own content,
Yeah.
or go to other events or festivals or other organizations that do curation in a different way.
And keep it original, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Originality is a big one.
Because when you go to a film festival, you're not only seeing some of the best films out there that exist, but you're seeing films that you won't have access to even.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't even find it online.
You want to, yeah, they'll go unknown.
I mean,
they're not picked, yeah.
And then you're going to get to meet the filmmaker
in
person. So not only did you get to see some great films, but you get to have great discussions with other great people from around the world. And that's another point. It's not just about the media or the art. It's about bringing people together.
Absolutely.
Creating that community. So as we grow and become, the world's just getting more and more global. We need events like that to bring us together. Yeah. So that we're not tied to our screens all the time
on the phone.
Yeah, I know, right? People, I think in the coming decades, people are going to want more and more of those in-person events.
Yeah, because it's like we're losing touch. Now we have the virtual headsets. Like people are just in the headset.
Hopefully, even that is going to lead to in-person events. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Maybe people will have a book club, for example,
right,
in the metaverse, but then they'll try to meet each other in person.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, it's just
I can't wrap my mind around it. I was just watching something Oprah Winfrey was doing. I want to say it was on maybe Peacock. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyways, I watched probably about the first 30 minutes, and they're saying in 2035, you're going to be able to, that's in 10 years for context.
That's
right?
very close.
10 years, so close. But you will be able to, apparently, this is the first episode. I'm not making this up. But you are able to buy a robot, tell a robot what your vision is for your home or whatever, and then that robot builds your house for you. This is literally what they said right out of the episode. So trippy. I don't know.
Well, we have the Tesla robot right now.
Yeah.
It's already happening as we speak.
Well, even if you go into BJ's, right? Yeah. They've got this robot that follows around.
Yeah.
And
Stop and Shop has them too.
And it does this whistle and that whistle to me is what I use for my cats to come and, feed them in the morning. So at first I was walking around BJ's and I hear that and I'm like, what the hell? And then it's this tall robot thing coming down the aisle with no real purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, with the googly eyes. Googly eyes.
He was like, hey, Ericka, what are you doing over here?
I'm like, listen, bro, married.
That's awesome. All right. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. Can you share any advice for filmmakers looking to submit their work to the film festival? And how can they submit for those who don't know that are watching?
Well, if you're submitting to the film festival or any festival, the key is just continue submitting.
Okay. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Even if you don't get into the first time, submit to the same festival again.
Right.
Because there's a lot of filmmakers that, we may not accept them the first time, but we really, really like their work.
Right.
And then we may not even accept them the second time, but if when they keep submitting, we get to know their work, and then the third, fourth time, they're playing opening night.
Just give them a shot.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but it's just it's also a matter of how many are possible. But with that said, never give up, because even what I'm trying to say is even if you don't get into a festival, the festival knows who you are.
Absolutely. Okay.
So they know your work, and they very well may be your fan.
Oh, look at that.
So it's just a matter of continuing that relationship and submitting again, because you never know. Maybe it didn't get in, not because it wasn't good. Maybe they just didn't have the space.
Exactly.
It's like a casting director, right? With actors. You don't always book, but you book the room. Yeah. That's what they say. Yeah. So to booking the room.
And
then when you make say you go from making a drama to a mystery to a comedy, and the comedy for some reason hits the right chord.
You never know.
And it's just as good as the other ones, but it's hitting a different chord. Yeah. All of a sudden you're in all the festivals that you weren't getting into before.
Exactly.
So and they were all waiting for that film, and they knew who you were because you were submitting films before, so they remembered your name. So a lot of it's all connected.
Right. And it builds more of a relationship when you do get picked.
Exactly. Once you do get picked, you want to go.
Right.
You have to go.
You have to go.
You have to go. Because that's you got to
the moment.
You got to be there, be present, be part of the event, because your film works well on screen, but it works 10 times better when you're in the room.
Absolutely. Because it's a different experience.
The audience loves it more. The festival loves it more. And you'll love the experience, because just by having the filmmaker in the room, it just the energy is much more different. It doesn't matter how good the film is. Once the filmmaker's there, it just becomes a whole different thing.
Yeah,
so you got to go. Whether you're getting into a festival in Rhode Island or in California or somewhere in Europe, just get on that plane and go.
And take the chance.
Yeah.
You never know what it could lead to.
Exactly.
Right? But I was just going to say, it's just like actors in general. Like, look at people like Jim Carrey, who was like acting. He didn't land anything because he's like one of the biggest actors around, you know? So anything in life, well, we agree, you never give up, because you could be so close to achieving a goal. Right.
Perseverance and the courage to keep the pursuit going.
Absolutely.
And look up other festivals that have films that are playing films that you like to make.
Yeah.
You know, there's festivals for all types of cinema.
Exactly.
And for Rhode Island, for example, we love our local filmmakers. So if you're making movies in Rhode Island, you got to submit to Rhode Island.
Yeah, why not?
Why
You're
wouldn't
from
you?
here, yeah.
I know, right? Because our goal is to serve as a platform for the world,
Absolutely.
so that the local Rhode Island filmmakers can meet them on that same level. So it's empowering both sides of the spectrum.
I agree. Did you want to say anything, Ericka, on that? Follow?
I think I'm good.
You think you're all set with that? I like
it.
it. Well, being that we said all that, we're going to get into Album of the Week.
Album of the week on the Jmack Experience Podcast.
Album of the Week this week is Mayhem by Lady Gaga. Are you guys looking forward to that?
Oh yeah.
Big fan of Lady Gaga?
I mean,
She's amazing.
She's great.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Yeah. We're going to get into Movie of the Week.
Movie of the week on the Jmack Experience Podcast.
Movie of the Week this week is Captain America Brave New World. It actually premieres this Friday.
Chris Evans.
Yes.
Is he the lead in that one?
Yes, I believe so. Are you going to be watching?
Have you seen it?
My former boss gave him his first job.
Oh, wow. Look
His
at
first
that.
acting job was the spoof movie. Remember Not Another Scary Movie?
Right. Okay.
That was Joel's. He cast him, and now look at him. He's Captain America.
Small world, huh?
Yeah.
You never know where things could lead to, as we were saying before.
You never know. I'll take my son to that movie soon.
Yeah.
Can't wait till it comes out.
So before we sign off, anything else that you want to promote besides the film festival that I didn't cover or I might have missed? Anything else?
Just, am I going to be able to borrow the sunglasses after we leave?
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know. I think I feel great. I would just like to encourage everyone to come out and
Absolutely.
attend the Oscars event.
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
Get your tickets.
And
then-
double features on every Thursday at 8.
Yeah.
And make sure you tune
Watch
in, right?
Double feature.
Yeah. I'm going to put the links too as we speak about it. So
Great.
that way people
And then
can-
come out to the festival in the summertime.
So I'll definitely be there. Just confirming once again.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right.
You're
excited.
You're already
The
on the
festival-
list.
I am excited.
Opening night, P-Pack, you're there.
All right, cool. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. So you'll be seeing this face there. And you guys got to come out. Everybody watching has to come out. Make sure it's going to be a wonderful experience. Where can we follow you social media-wise before we go?
RI Film Fest for
Okay.
Twitter
Yep.
and flickers.riiff for Instagram.
Nice. How about yourself, Ericka?
You can follow me at eJoya Productions
Nice.
on Instagram.
Now, can we agree that all the experiences that you went through got you to where you are today?
In French, they say you have to eat the angry cow. It's a strange expression, and I know it doesn't make any sense in English, but it makes perfect sense that you have to go through a lot of tenacity and hardship to really become who you are.
Yeah.
And I love that phrase. Like
That's a good one.
It's a cool
What's the phrase again?
You have to eat the angry cow.
You have to eat the angry cow. I like that.
Yes.
I've never heard of that one.
Me
I
neither.
like it. You just taught me one today.
Moo.
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 How about you, Ericka?
What was the question again?
Can we agree that all the experiences that you went through or are going through got you to where you are today?
I'm very spiritual. So I would say some of the experiences I don't quite understand, right? Life can be very unfair, but all we can do is control our attitudes. I think that your attitude alters ability. Yeah. And I think that, I don't know, I think that when you honor your happiness and you know that you have something to give, timing is everything.
I like it. I like it. Any advice out there for those who may be experiencing the same situations that you guys in general have went through or are going through at the moment? Any advice for the people watching?
Well, just keep eating that angry cow.
The angry cow, that's right.
Manger la vache enragée.
Manger la vache avangée. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I like
you know,
it.
like just never put your head down. Just keep powering through it because one thing leads to the next. Like, say you make your third movie and then you end up making a play and the play becomes a hit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you never
Broadway.
You never know what, or you write a poem and you put it on YouTube and that becomes a hit. Like you never know what. Just be multifaceted and try to just be open to anything.
Yeah, I like that. That's great advice. I like that.
That's beautiful advice.
Any last words or special shout outs you would like to mention before we sign off?
Well, join us on the red carpet with Steven Feinberg.
Right. I was just going to say, we got to shout him out.
Shout out to
ABC
Steven
6.
Feinberg.
ABC 6, we got to shout them out.
And you know, watch PBS.
PBS.
Double feature Thursday nights at 8, and come out for our Kids Eye Camp.
I can't wait. I'll be there.
If anyone wants to enroll their child in the Kids Eye Camp to learn cinema, be part of the festival, it's a great experience and it's a great door opener to learn about how to make a movie. And that's going to be the week after July 4th.
I love it. I love it. Ericka, any last words?
Just thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I wanted to say.
This is great.
Thank you so much for coming out. Once again, I truly appreciate it. This was a wonderful experience. Guys, you're in for a fantastic episode. Episode 68, Ericka Cardona at will. Shawn Quirk. We're signing out. The Jmack Experience Podcast. Gra!
Thanks for coming on the Jmack Experience Podcast. Be sure to come on for another episode every single week.
So much fun.
Until next time, peace.